Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. I hope you're having a fantastic day so far. If this is the first video of mine that you've ever seen, then hello, welcome. My name is Millie. I post over here 3 times a week on a Monday, Wednesday and a Friday. Everything that I do on this channel is cruelty free and affordable. Testing different things, putting together different looks, etc, etc. And that is exactly what we're getting into today. I have a full face, or nearly full face, of Primark makeup. Now, I went into Primark yesterday with the intention of getting cycling shorts and nothing else. And I came out £50 lighter with, like I say, a nearly full face of makeup and also socks, because if you can go into Primark and not buy socks, then you've got more willpower than I have. Is my sock drawer overflowing with pretty coloured, novelty patterned socks? Absolutely. Did I buy more? Yes, because they've got fries on them. But let's just get into the makeup. Everything, so I went in on a Thursday afternoon. It was about 4 o'clock, I think. Don't recommend it. Everything was everywhere. Everything was dirty. Everything was sticky. I think most of the products that I have here, I literally got the last ones that weren't opened. If you go into Primark or anywhere, Superdrug, Boots, anywhere, and you open a product to see what the colour is like, then decide you don't want it and you put it back, you're an awful person. They had so many testers. They had testers for every single product, but also 99% of the stock was opened, was touched with dirty little fingers. Don't be that guy. Like, why do people do it? It makes no sense to me. Anyway, I am rambling. I got a foundation. This is the PS My Perfect Colour Illuminating Foundation. I got this in the shade Ivory 02. I used the testers and thought that this was like the closest one to my skin tone. This was £6. I don't know what this is meant to be a dupe for. I'm sure it's meant to be a dupe for something. I don't know what for. Let's get into it. I hope this has a pump. Let's see. Oh my goodness, have I got a faulty one? Oh, no. Okay, that looks like a good colour for me. It's not too thin, like, because it's illuminating, you might think that it would be quite thin, but that looks like it's got a decent texture to it. It says on the front, luminous finish with wild pansy and rose extract. It does have a scent to it, but I'm not sure if it's pansy and rose, I'm not sure. SPF 20, which we love to see, and the bottle is 30 millilitres, which is what's fairly standard for foundations. Oh, it's maybe a little bit light, but we can absolutely make that work. So that was approximately 1 pump, and I'm going to blend it out with a sponge and let's see what this coverage is like. Okay, so I would say that this is probably like a light coverage. It is very illuminating, it's very glowy. I don't really feel like it's covered over any redness. You can still see every single one of my freckles, which I don't mind. Like, I quite like a light coverage, but this, I mean, it didn't say what sort of coverage it would be, but it is very light. I will go in with a little bit more to see if it's buildable. It's definitely buildable. I feel like that is starting to cover. I don't feel like it's going to go like light to full in that second layer. I'm not sure that it will get to be full coverage, but it's definitely building up and it still looks really nice and natural and glowing. I like it. This colour is perhaps a little bit light for me, just a tiny little bit, but firstly the next shade up was like a big step between shade 2 and shade 3, and I feel like coming into autumn and winter this will definitely be an okay shade for me. I'm just going to, I don't have a concealer, so I'm just going to get one of mine. I'll use this one, the Revolution Fast Base concealer, and just put a little bit of that. I did put the foundation over my like eyelids, but I feel like I just need to brighten it just in there a little bit. So tiny bit of that, blend that out with my sponge as well. And then for bronzer and blush, I've got some very exciting products. So, Charlotte Tilbury Who. I got the PS Pro Cream Contour Buildable Coverage Cream Bronzer. This is in the shade Light Brown. This costs me £4.50. And then I also got the Cream Blush Luminous Finish. Again, £4.50. They had a few different shades of this, but I got the shade Pink. So let me just get into this packaging. I want to see if these have that little like twisty bit at the end to like lock it on and off. I hope it does. It does. It has the little lock thing. I wish every product like this had this little lock so that you can lock it and then throw it in your makeup bag, and no matter how much you squeeze this, it's not going to come out. I am thrilled. So let's see what this colour is like. Ooh, that's a nice light bronzy colour. Do I use a sponge or do I use a brush to blend this out? I think I might use a brush. That's a lot more cool toned than I was expecting it to be. I know it said contour. Wow. Okay, very, very, very pigmented. Panic, 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 blend, blend, blend. Ooh. Okay, so those two little dots that I just did at that side have contoured my whole face. And I'm saying contour loosely, like, I'm not a contoury kind of gal, but I have sort of used it in that way, and I feel like even those two dots is probably a little bit more than what I would have really liked to have used, but I do feel like that looks nice. It's a nice cool colour. It is, I mean, I know it says cream contour on the wand. I was expecting it to be a little bit more bronzier, just expecting and hoping it to be a little bit more bronzier, but I like it. It blended out so easily, and it does look like it's got a nice little bit of luminosity to it. It's not glittery or chunky at all. I can't see any glitter, but it is just adding some of that luminosity. It's going over the top of that foundation really, really nicely. So now put the lid back on it. There's still like loads of product left on the sponge there, so let's hope that that stays there. And then I got the blush. This was in the shade Pink. So I do wish that the shade was actually on this, because I'm going to forget, and if I had more than one I would forget as well. There were definitely a few shades that I was interested in. They had a peachy one, they had a slightly darker one, but this looks like a great colour for me anyway. I'm just going to stamp this onto the back of my hand so that I don't get too much right on the first go, given how pigmented that bronzer one was. Okay, the blush is a lot less pigmented, which is a bonus for me. I have put a few more dots on there and just blended it out. Again, blended so nicely, looks really nice and illuminating. I would say the closest that I have tried to this would be the collection ones, which we all know are my favourite blush ones. I was worried that I didn't get a highlighter, but I don't feel like I need it. Like, everything is looking so good. I'm not going to set anything. I don't feel like I necessarily need it. I feel like the amount of shine that I have down the centre of my face does just look illuminating rather than sweaty. So I am going to put the lid on that one. And I now have a brow product. I was about to say some brow products, but it's 3-in-1. So this is the 3-in-1 brow pencil, coloured gel, powder and pencil. This was £3 and I got this in dark brown. I would normally go for like a medium brown, but the medium looked straight up orange. Like, it just looked so warm that I don't know if I would be able to get away with it. So I am going to hope that I can just go in with a light hand with the dark brown version of this. Let's see. I don't really know how I feel about like the little powder thing in the centre. I'm not sure I would use that. Happy to use the pencil and the gel. Oh wow, the spoolie on that little gel on the end is the tiniest I have ever seen in my life. Okay, so I will just show you what the pencil looks like as well. It's like a teardrop triangle shaped end, which is my preference generally. I'm open to ideas, but this I just find is the quickest way. I do enjoy like a micro pencil sometimes, but I'm going to do the pencil, I'll do the gel, and then let's reassess. Let's see how I feel after this. I'll bear it back when I've got some brows on my head. Okay, so I have some thoughts about the brow thing, the 3-in-1. The pencil is probably one of the best pencils that I've ever tried. The texture of it, it was not too firm, not too soft. I was able to get those tiny little hair-like strokes, but also turn it on. I'm getting so excited about this brow pencil, I can't use my words. Turn it on its end, and I just filled in the tail so quickly, and the colour with a light hand was perfect. Not too warm, but I feel like a really great colour. Where I feel like this has gone a little bit crazy and a little bit dark was the brow gel. That's a really strange brow gel. It's really thin. I mean, obviously I haven't used the powder, so I can't comment on that, but the gel was really thin, really like watery, and as I was like brushing it through, it was sort of going everywhere. Like although the brush was very small, it was sort of touching, even being as careful as I could, it was sort of touching everywhere, and I have had to do a little bit of a clean up. I feel like they're looking a little bit messy, where before I put the gel on they looked great. So love the pencil. The gel was a little bit strange, and also it was really watery, the gel, so I didn't feel like it was going to give me very much hold. And then as I went in to try and like clean up the bits where it got a bit messy, these eyebrows are set. Like that's a really firm hold considering how thin it felt. So I like it. I may go back into town and buy another one because that is a really great pencil for £3. I will report back about the powder. I don't know if I've ever used a brow powder that I like, but I will report back. So for the eyes, I got this, which again I think is meant to be a Charlotte Tilbury dupe, the PS Cream Eyeshadow in Rustic Rose. Let me get into this packaging. So the actual tub of this, I'm like wiping it as I'm trying to show you it. The actual tub, oh, you can see your own reflection. That's a little bit spooky, isn't it? The actual thing is glass, really, really nice packaging. Ooh, that is a nice colour. That's like, I was expecting it to be warmer than that. That's really, really nice. I would also recommend, whilst I'm here, they still do these brushes in Primark. This is the Shading Eye brush, and I absolutely love this brush. I should have got another one whilst I was there, but I just didn't think. But I absolutely love these brushes, or this brush in particular, for cream eyeshadows, because it's got a lot, both ends are quite dense, but it's got a larger and a smaller end. So I don't know what's going on. There's some sort of emergency happening outside. I'm sorry if you can hear ambulances and fire engines and stuff. Yeah, it's got one end that is smaller, so you can like apply the product with one end and then blend it out with the other. I absolutely love these. I'm not going to show you it too close up because mine is dirty, but it's only going on my own face. So in fact, let's put a little bit on the back of my hand to show you the colour. Oh, it's very creamy. Oh wow, that shade is beautiful. That looks like it's going to be the perfect shade for blue eyes. I am a fan. So I'm just going to use whatever I've got on the other side of that now, and I'm just going to tap a little bit sort of along the lash line and then blend it out with the other side of this brush. Well, that's just blended out like a dream, hasn't it? That colour is beautiful, and it's got the most beautiful golden little bits of glitter in it. Oh, I love that. I feel like I barely used any as well, like it's so pigmented. The amount that I got up for the swatch has done the swatch and both eyes. That's so pigmented. Okay, so I've also just run that under my eyes, and I will zoom you in so that you can see the glitter, like the beautiful soft glitter on this eyeshadow, because it is beautiful. Let me zoom you in. So now that we are up close and personal, can you see how beautiful that eyeshadow is? That blended out so quickly, so easily, and I feel like this, the way that it's set on my eyelids, I don't feel like this is going to crease. I will report back. I can't do a full like wear test of all of this stuff today, but I will leave it in the comments down below what I think of this by the end of the day. So this did come with a little like plastic stopper, which I feel like is going to be essential for keeping this nice and creamy. I am going to wipe the back of my hand because that plus white dress can only end in tears. So I got a mascara and tell me what this is meant to look like. Maybelline Who? Like, which one is it? Is it Sky High? Is that what it's called? The one that also looks like that new collection one, which I can't remember what I thought of the Maybelline one. I don't really think a lot of the collection one, but let's see how this goes. This is the Double Act Volumizing Mascara. I'm excited to see what the wand looks like. This costs me £3.50, and again, one of the only ones still in its packaging unused. Don't buy mascara that's been opened. You do not want to be getting an eye infection. So let's see what the wand looks like. Okay, just like the collection one, very similar to the collection one. I do generally prefer a natural bristle, or like at the very least like an hourglass sort of a wand, but let's see how this will build up. It looks very thin, like the liquid feels very thin, but let's see. I'll do one side with one coat and one side with two, and we'll see how this will build up. Okay, so this is one coat of the mascara and this is two. I feel like this looks really nice. Okay, let me zoom you in. I should have just left you zoomed in, shouldn't I? So this is just the one coat and this is the two. I feel like I wouldn't necessarily agree with it saying that it's volumizing. However, it is so lengthening and really like fluttery. Again, the formula is quite thin. It feels really like it's basically doing nothing as you apply it, but that second coat has just finished me off. Like, that looks so nice. It hasn't gone clumpy. I prefer a little bit of clump, so like, you know, take this with a pinch of salt. But I feel like if you're wanting something very lengthening, if you're wanting something very fluttery, this is a really great one. Obviously it depends on how this wears. Like, if this is going to smudge and flake off in 2 minutes, then it's a no from me. But let me just even myself up. I need another coat on this side, don't I? Okay, so to finish off the look, I've got two lipsticks. No lip liner and two lipsticks. So let's see how this goes. These were 90p. How they do it, I do not know, but I got two shades. These are both in the Luster formula. They had matte ones, I think they had satin ones. I honestly just picked up two colours that I liked the look of. I didn't even look at the finish, and now I'm like, I maybe would have liked a satin, but never mind. This is Barely There and Sweet Talk. So again, let's get into the packaging. I should have done this before I started filming. Okay, so I'll start with the darker shade, which is called Sweet Talk. Ooh, that looks like an autumnal dream shade. Ooh, it's got a bit of a peculiar smell to it. Smells like cheap makeup that's trying to be covered over with like a little bit of vanilla. I'm not sure if I love that. Oh, but that formula is like one of those like washes of colour. It's almost like a tinted lip balm. On the first swipe, that colour is beautiful and not actually as dark as I was maybe expecting it to be. Then, what was this one? Barely There. Okay, concealer lips have entered the chat. That might be a little bit too light even for me. Yeah, that is like barely showing up. I mean, it's in the name, barely there. But I'm gonna go in with the darker one. I was definitely thinking I was gonna like the lighter one more, but let's go in with the darker one, and then I can always put the lighter one sort of in the centre. And like I say, I don't have a lip balm, so a lip liner. So let's just see how this goes by itself. Okay, so I've never owned Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk, but is this a dupe for it, or is this a dupe for it? Like, that colour is beautiful. I did sort of, because I don't have a lip liner, I've just sort of smudged out the edges. I am going to just go over the centre with a little bit of Barely There, and they do just feel like a lip balm. They're a really nice, balmy, hydrating sort of a finish. And is that everything that I purchased? Let me look on my receipt. So, did the lipstick, the foundation, the blush, the bronze, the 2 lipsticks, the mascara and the brow pen. I also got these, which obviously I'm not gonna try now. These are the caffeine eye patches. They were £1.80 and it says that there's 15 treatments. So I'm like, when I open this for the first time, do I then have to use these within 15 days? Or are they going to be individually wrapped inside of there? Because I'm not going to use one every day. I'm going to use like one a week maybe, or one set a week, you know. But I will report back on that one. And then what else did I get? The socks, a couple of vests, and that was how much? £49.30. But everything that I've tested today, what do we think of it? The foundation, I think looks absolutely beautiful. The shade is a little bit off, but I do think coming into autumn, it's going to be a fantastic choice. Obviously for £6. So happy with that. I don't know what this is meant to be a dupe for, like I say. The other stuff is very obviously a dupe for something, but I don't know what this one is meant to be a dupe for. I wonder if it's the NARS one. I have the NARS one and I don't feel like it's that similar. The lipsticks, I might have to head into town and get some more of those, because that luster finish, I was so unsure, but that is a really, really beautiful lipstick. So pigmented, so hydrating. Whilst I'm there, if I do go back into town to get some more of those, I'm absolutely stocking up on that brow pencil. Beautiful. The gel I'm not sure on, but if you're looking for a really great brow pencil for £3, this was a really, really nice one. The mascara, I really, really like. I wasn't expecting to love everything as much as I do. The ones, again, absolutely fantastic. The bronzer one, go in with caution because I got too much with the tiniest little dot. The blush was a little bit more user-friendly in that it wasn't quite so pigmented. Straight off the bat, it was definitely more buildable, which I prefer. I feel like it's a little bit easier to use. And the eyeshadow, 10 out of 10, absolutely beautiful. And I will report back if it creases or if it lasts really well. I feel like, you know, I've been filming for a while. I've been here for over an hour, but I do feel like so far so good. I feel like if it was going to crease, it would have creased already. But I really, really like that. I feel like everything has come out really, really well. If you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up. But until next time, thank you ever so much for watching. Bye.